What up, YouTube? It's me, Isaac, coming to you with another edition of My Life. So, as I stated in a couple of my recent videos, most of my recent content coming up will be Stephen King retrospectives. And I know I did a movie review of Doctor Sleep when I first saw it, but I'm gonna do another one, so here we go. So, as I said in my Doctor Sleep video from I think like 4 or 5 years ago, don't recall. Doctor Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, which my brother had to explain to me how they got back into the Overlook Hotel because in the movie because in the books it was the hotel burnt down and the hotel's land was turned into a summer camp, which is where it took place in the book. Which truth be told, I haven't read Doctor Sleep because of, like I said, my eyes aren't that good, my eyesight isn't that good, and the small print, it just wouldn't be good for me. If they'd release a large print version of Doctor Sleep, I would definitely be into reading it because the movie was great and The Shining was great too, but they haven't released a large print version of Doctor Sleep as far as I know. But if they do, I would like to read it. It'd be cool. And yeah. So we just watched the movie Doctor Sleep a couple of nights ago, when my brother was here for Father's Day. That was a good day, and so so as I said earlier, I haven't read Doctor Sleep because the larger the book, the smaller the print. The smaller the print, the more I have to strain my eyes. But I do know that I loved I do know when I was younger, I did love The Shining, even though there were parts of that book that made me think of the theory that I have been crafting for 12 years that I will get to eventually. When I get to my 1000th video, or maybe 1001 and maybe 1001st video. I'm hoping to do it on my 1000th video, but who knows how things will work out. But yeah, as far as I know, this is probably going to be video 994. Maybe, yeah, it would be 994 because there's 993 up. But yeah. So, Doctor Sleep is basically the same thing as The Shining, except for now Danny's older and he doesn't rely on Tony, which I'm not going to spoil anything, but Tony was what he called his shine, apparently, from what I can recall because it's been a while since I've even read The Shining, but that's how I picked it up when I watched the movie The Shining a couple of days ago. And I already did my Shining movie review. You should all go check that out, along with the rest of my content. That would be really, really cool. And so, as I said, he called his Shining Tony for some odd reason. I never understood why, but that's neither here nor there. Why I didn't understand the mind of, I don't know how old he was at the time. I think like 8 or something. But then again, I digress. That was the beginning of The Shining when he was 8 or 9. But yeah, that was the Doctor Sleep was both the Shining movies. Well, actually, the Kubrick Shining movie was great. The first one was the mini series that King did wasn't not good, but it wasn't good in my opinion. I like the Kubrick one. But that's neither here nor my thoughts on the Shining. The two versions of The Shining are neither here nor there. Again, and so Doctor Sleep follows an adult Danny and this new girl that shines by the name of Abra, which whenever I think of the name Abra, I think of Pokemon because, well, there is a Pokemon named Abra. Kind of funny, in my opinion, that I go from a horrifying movie with unalivings and stuff like that to Pokemon in one thought, which is kind of funny because of the little thing that this real life magician did that made him not be able to produce Abracadabra or Alakazam cards because of he thought they were using his likeness, which was completely stupid. But at least within the last couple of months, they were able to, or years, he lifted the lawsuit, and now Pokemon is able to produce Abracadabra and Alakazam cards for the TCG. Hoping to get my hands on one. Hoping to get my hands on a set of those someday from either pack balls, which I don't know if I'll ever do any on YouTube, or trades at the card shop that I go to. If I ever go there on Pokemon card days, I'm not sure when those are. I just know when they're I just know when the Digimon are and when their Beyblade tournaments are, which their Beyblade tournaments are Fridays and their Digimon days are Sundays, which is awesome as hell. Either way, and yeah, it's just really funny that oh yeah, I didn't get into like I said, I never read the book Dr. Sleep because the writing's really small, and I want them to release a large print version of it. If they do, I will read it, and I will do a better review of the book. But right now, this is a Dr. Sleep movie review, which, as I said, it's about an older Danny Torrance and this new girl that shines. I know her name's Abra. I don't know her last name. I think it was like Stone or something. And it's an interesting movie that my little brother had never seen before we watched it because he could never find a good enough quality copy of it, which I find to be freaking hilarious because we've had a couple of DVD copies of it which are perfect, and that's funny. And so it was cool to watch my brother's reaction to one of my favorite horror movies, which, as I said, any Stephen King movie tops the list for one of my favorite horror movies. Silver Bullet, Cycle of the Werewolf, which is the book version of Silver Bullet. Go check out that retrospective. Go check out that movie /book review. And yeah, today's just been wild, and I can't believe that I got to talk Pokemon and a Stephen King. I can't believe I got to talk Pokemon TCG and a Stephen King movie review in one video, because of one thing that connects them being Abra. That was cool in my opinion. I find, if you can't tell why, that's why I'm smiling, because that was totally unintentional that I went into that tangent from my Stephen King review to a Pokemon lawsuit that really shouldn't have happened in the first place, because Abracadabra and Alakazam I can kind of see it because of, I can kind of see it from that guy's point of view, because, well, actually, I can't really see it from his point of view, but I can see how he would think that, because he does spoon tricks, and Kadabra does spoon tricks that I can kind of see how he was being a little petty there. But I am glad that he finally let Pokemon release Kadabra and Alakazam cards. I don't know if they stopped production on Abra cards or not. But like I said, they stopped production on Kadabra and Alakazam cards, so I'm guessing they stopped production on Abra cards too, which means the Abra card in my art box is probably worth a little bit of money, rather it being faded or not, which I'm pretty sure it would be faded, but I know I did have a couple of good cards in my Abra cards in my card box at the time when I was collecting Pokemon cards, not just playing with them. Although back then I didn't know about keeping cards in plastic, which thankfully I know about that now. So I've shown y'all my Digimon cards, which y'all should go check out my Digimon card game retrospectives, which I've had a blast doing those too. So yeah, I'm your host, Isaac Brumett. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I know I sure as shit will. Peace out, y'all.